Hey everyone, we're back with another exciting tutorial on a new tool that has been recently integrated into Playground. This particular tool is a great companion if you want to get any of your images or videos reframed to the desired aspect ratio without having to crop or zoom in on your images. You might be wondering how would that be possible? Well, introducing Luma Labs Reframe. I'm sure many of y'all have been through this issue where you want to simply convert your original image or video's aspect ratio from 1:1 to 9:16 or 9:16 to 1:1. And similarly for video to go from 16:9 to 9:16 without regenerating your assets or affecting character or background consistency. Well, rest assured, Luma CSV Reframer is here to solve that issue without changing your image and keeping everything consistent. The good news is that you can do this in batches, as in bulk images and video aspect ratio resizing. Let's dive into it. Now, head over to Playground, and usually, the first thing what you would do is come over to Playground. You'd see a bunch of tools. Well, we've kind of modified it a little bit to make it more organized. So now we have like video tools as a separate section, image tools as a separate section, and then there are other tools that you need for other creative processes. But in addition, we've added another tab called automations. So head over to automations. Now, you might notice that we've made some changes, and the whole reason being is that automations can now handle bulk asset creation. So when you're in automations, you'll find that these three tools are the ones that do a lot of bulk processing. Like you are aware of prompt CSV batch runner. You know what the style transfer generator tool does. And then we have Luma CSV reframer. Let's select Luma CSV reframer. Once you're inside the tool, you will notice that there are two models for images and there are two models for video. Now think of this as Photon 1 being VO and Photon Flash 1 being VO fast. Just to give you like an idea, like what these models do. And if you look at the interface, it's very straightforward. What you would need is like there are a bunch of aspect ratios that you would need to input, and in order to get like the aspect ratio that you desire for your images or videos. So let's get into it. Say for example, you have this image sheet, and your original images are in 1:1 aspect ratio. Now you want to convert these to 9:16 or any other aspect ratio that production has demanded. Usually the process would entail you having to re-queue this asset into 9:16 on Playground, but what would happen is that a lot of these images won't be consistent. You would like the style and the framing of this image, but it would change when you would re-queue an asset. Well, Luma Labs or Luma CSV Reframer can solve that for you, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, say for instance, this is your image sheet, and you want to change the aspect ratio from 1:1 to 9:16. You will create a new sheet, and as you can see in this tool, this is very case sensitive. So this is what I will input in my prep sheet. So image underscore URL and aspect ratio. Now over here, I'll just type in as image underscore URL and then aspect underscore ratio. Then head over to your image sheet, grab all the image links, just copy and paste them over here. I'll just reorganize this. And now in this particular section, you will mention what the aspect ratio should be. Now, understand this that this is not any tool that can that will crop in or zoom in on your images. This will actually generatively fill those gaps. Like if there are like black bars coming in on your top and bottom of 9 to 16, that will be generatively added. So I'll show you how it works. Now, I know this image is 1:1, as you can see my image sheet. This is 1:1. I'm going to convert this to 9:16 without zooming or cropping in. So it's like more of a generative fill. So let me do this. Once you know your images have been prepped, simply download this as a CSV. And you can name this as whatever, like, the production name of that asset might be. For my instance, it's like, I'll just call this Luma Reframe demo. I'll save it. Then once you have your CSV ready, go into Luma CSV Reframer. Give this a name so that you stay organized. I'll call this Luma Reframe Test. And then I will choose my model as Photon 1. You can choose either. Photon 1 just has better quality, and Photon Flash 1 is like, it's like VO fast. So you can decide which ones you can choose. Then browse, look for the CSV that you generated, and simply hit upload. And then submit the task. Now I've already done this. So for your example, I'll show you how it looks like. Now this was my original image and I've converted into 9:16. This was my original image, I've converted it into 9:16. Now as you notice, this bit and this upper part, they have been generatively added. Like, the character hasn't changed, my background hasn't changed, and like, I've gotten the correct aspect ratio that I wanted. Even in this image, if you look at the original, this was my 1:1 image, this is my 9:16 image. As you can see in the bottom and at the top, it has generatively added those, it has context and it has generatively filled in those gaps. So the image remains the same. There aren't any elemental changes. Your character remains consistent. Like even in this, like if this was my original, this is the aspect ratio changed image. My character is the same, my background is the same, and I've gotten it into 9:16. Same goes for this one. As you can see, it has done it very seamlessly. Like, there aren't any errors. The image hasn't changed at all. Only the aspect ratio has changed, keeping the original image intact. You can also go from 16 as to 9 as to 16. So this is another example. Take a look at this. This is my original image. This is the reframed image. As you can see in the bottom and at the top, it has generatively added that content. So I don't need to worry, like, the character's not getting zoomed in. I don't need to worry about any other elemental changes. Even here, I know there might be a few, but you can, adjust this with Nano Banana. Same goes for here. It added this element. So it gets context from the image that you upload. And you can do this in bulk. So no need to like, upload one image and do it. You can do this in bulk at once and it will process. It can also do multi-aspect. So say for instance, you have few images that you want converted differently. This could work for promos or like, any social media content. But as you can see, this is my original. This is my 1:1. This is my original. I changed it to 3:4 and so on. So it's a super tool. Like, you don't need to waste a lot of time, like, doing one by one. You can do it in bulk and you don't need to worry about like getting the image, like losing the quality of the image or like, losing character consistency or even background consistency. And the bonus is it can do for video as well. Now I'll show you an example. Like I have these videos already set. So say for example, these were the videos that I have. Now, these are all in 9:16, right? Now I want to change them to like the desired aspect ratio. As you can see, I have placed like a bunch of other aspect ratios here. And one more thing to note is that when you prep your sheet, these two columns are necessary. These ones are the output that I got. So in this column, it will be video underscore URL. In the other one, it was image underscore URL. For video, it will be video underscore URL. And I'll show you the example. These are all 9:16. Now I change it to 1:1. And yes, I've gotten my result. There hasn't been any cropping, no zooming in. The video is like original. Like another one is 9:16. Take a look at this. Like it has added context. There isn't any cropping, there isn't any zooming. So it's a really powerful tool if you wish to If you wish to use it and you want to change it into like if you want to do like a bulk reframing of your images as well as videos. So one more thing I want to show you in video is like, this is all the aspect ratios it supports. So make sure this is like, this is case sensitive. So yeah, head over to automations and head over to Luma CSV Reframer and let me know your thoughts. I'm excited to know how this goes for you. Thank you so much.